Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, we got, I believe I could say that is more of a mission, I think. I think that'll be the correct word, or at least the word that I will use. We got a mission from Valkyrie, from Shimon, whatever name you have attachment to. And we were given a bit of information, as well as, some information about some of the stuff that's been happening, why it's been happening. And I think, I'm hoping necessarily, but I'm thinking and kind of hoping that this is going to be the last episode if I have if my memory is correct, which is not guaranteed, so I apologize if it's not, but I think it's going to be a little bit on the longer side. We'll see. But let's get back into it, shall we? There I was in that black, shadowy darkness. I was normal, because I was able to distinguish that darkness as either black or shadowy. The sound of the clock, footsteps, the bottom of the stairs. I understood all of that. Even the word, Mama. I knew it all. So I must have been normal. But I was uneasy. Something was missing, a part of my memory. It didn't feel right. So I screamed. A sound like something cutting through metal. My throat was dry. It felt like I was going to tear it to shreds. But I didn't care. I kept screaming. Mama, Mama, Mama. Mama, Mama, Mama. Please, could you... Look. What? At yourself. I shifted my gaze so that I could look at myself. But it didn't feel like I was looking at myself. It was like I was observing myself. It felt natural to observe myself like that, even though it was the first time I had ever done so. Maybe this should have been obvious to me, but I realized that I was no longer myself. I gazed at what I once was. I realized that I was a mistake. I see. I get it now. I was what I once was. Berserker. Yes? Odin is calling for you. Who is Odin? Odin is the girl dressed in black. Oh, so her name is Odin. That's a really cool name. Anyway, I headed for where Odin-san was waiting. Where is Odin-san anyway? I was embarrassed to ask that. She was in the room Freyr-san showed me. They sure do look down on me. I heard her say that as I passed by her room. I looked inside. She was staring at her book. I didn't really get it, but she looked at it like it was the most important thing in the world. I wonder why. And just as I thought that, she ripped a page out from the book. Why did she do that? Do what? I was surprised. She noticed me. She didn't seem to understand what I was asking her. Didn't you just finish writing that, though? This is fine. She smiled. It was beautiful. She threw the crumpled paper onto the floor and took her pen in her hand again. You're going to write more? Yeah. Are you going to keep writing forever? I'll finish eventually. Let's see. Do you remember this mountain? How could I? This is my first time climbing it after all. You said that to me in the past. I did? Once again, she said yes. I had no recollection of ever saying that to her. Wasn't this the first time we'd even met? Do you really have any intention of putting an end to it? I was surprised. A girl showed up behind Odin-san. She wore black clothes that were very similar to Odin-san's. She seemed angry. Very angry. And who's this? The girl noticed me and asked Odin-san that. Anura Tadari. His name is Berserker. She stared at my face. I see. Then muttered, I see? See what? I didn't get it. Anyway, take this seriously. The girl left after saying that to Odin-san. I caught a glance of her face behind her pink hair. It was so... I'm just doing what I can. The girl was gone, but Odin-san still replied. She didn't smile when she said that like she usually did, though. Movement. And now I'm here. I don't know if this music should still be playing. I'm going to, let's see, make a save here. Exit to the title. I just want to double check because that seems not... Okay. That just seems odd, but oh well. Wait, but oh right, because I'm an idiot. Now I'm here, in this world, a mixture of fiction and reality. Meito leaned against the guardrail like a corpse. You're telling me to believe all that? That was my response. I'm not telling you to believe me. There's just one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I keep yawning. I felt Meito's hard gaze. After staring at me for a while, he said, Your son and husband, they're very worried about you. So, if you get the chance to see them again, value every moment. Don't just work all the time. Look at them. Otherwise, you'll have regrets when it's all over. Answer, Episode 3, Ragnarok. I'm going to take a drink before we start that. Going back to Old Faithful, dry Italian wine. Unnatural light beamed from behind the tree. Something was different, though. The previously absent wind began to intermittently blow at my hair before I realized it. Oh. To the next me, from the second loop. I'm sure you've got no idea what I'm talking about with the loops. You'd think I'm nuts to say that the world starts over after 20 days. I get how you feel. But this is, without a doubt, real. As I write this to you, I'm experiencing the first day of myth. I don't know what will happen before the 20th day, but for you, the next me, as well as for the current me, I think I'll record what happens. If my existence can't come into being, then it meant that I was standing there, dumbfounded. A single notebook was before me. A notebook from a foreign land describing the events of today, and now happening a second time, written by the hand of Meito Tanabe. Why? Why did I have this notebook? Was there some sort of clue? I turned to the last page of the notebook. There must be a way to return to reality. I've managed to recall the place closest to that answer. I'm planning on going there now. Escape. Did Shadowless manage to escape? What? Something dressed in black seemed to pass by my eyes. I looked up from the notebook to find someone's slender white legs. And a moment later, that someone let off some odd yelp. I looked again to the thing writhing around on the ground. Watching the exaggerated performance of the woman in black, I immediately thought back to the contents of the notebook. Riri will help Shimon after she falls from the tree. Ouchies. She stood up and began to rub her knees. Or rather, she acted like she did. Okay. Shimon looked at me with wide eyes. Knowing the truth behind those tearful, innocent eyes made me only able to look at them with disgust. Shimon gawked at my outfit. Yeah, I actually don't think Riri's voice fits her character very well. That's my opinion. I don't think it's bad. I don't know. Needs a bit more onus onto it. You know, that sort of thing. Are you okay? My character said that. Those were the first words I said. Yeah, just a scratch. In any case, I decided to watch and see what happens for a while. That's no good. Please let me tend to your wounds. What? Nah, don't worry about it. I got what I deserved. Yeah, again, I've mentioned my issue about reading visual novels that have voice acting playing. And just to add on to that even more, if I haven't already said this, I don't remember. I read faster than the words are said, and I have a very, very bad habit of just continuing on, so interrupting everything. The recording for Riri's voice actress, Seo, whatever the fuck it's pronounced, sounds kind of odd to me, and I'm not sure why. No, please allow me to. Why are you at the top of that tree, though? I don't know. Why was I? I'm kind of dumb and random, so when I saw there was a tree, I really wanted to climb it for some reason. Damn it. Idiots do love their high places, I hear. Yep, I've heard that. Oh, wow. At some point, some ointment had been placed in my hand. When I applied it to Shimon's knee, she looked like she was in pain. I'm sorry. Does it sting? Yep. I know it'll get better in a sec. I can take it. I'm glad to hear that. Mere seconds after spreading the ointment on Shimon's knee, the wound appeared to be recovering at an impossibly rapid rate. I understand it's a story, but that's awfully unrealistic. What's your name? Riri asked as she continued to treat the wound. Huh. I don't actually know. I think the translation for this might have shortened that quite a lot. Could be wrong. Shimon. It's almost like Simone, but not. I see. That's a lovely name. Actually, I kind of wonder if the line for that was something more along the lines of, my name is Shimon, like the characters in blah, 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 whatever, something like that. And it localized it to, it's almost like blank, but not. It could be. I don't know. I'm curious, but I don't know.
あなたのお名前は
What's your name?
リリです。
Riri.
あらら、そっちもお花みたいで素敵なお名前っす。
No, that's a wonderful name. It sounds like a flower.
まあ、ありがとうございます。
Thank you. Would you stop laughing? A shout too rude for the lovely mood the two girls had set echoed throughout the field. Riri looked out to the grasslands and saw someone's shadow. I raised my hand to block the light and waited for my eyes to adjust. Oh, you don't have a voice. No. How sad. Shimon, cut it out with the Tarzan act. A girl's shadow. Could she be...
やっべ、ユリだ。
Oh no, it's Yuri. Yuri Yamagami, Shadowless's girlfriend. Who are you? The unnaturally composed shadow swayed.
私はリリと申します。
You heard her. Watashi wa Riri.
ユリユリ、この人、怪我してる私を救ってくれた命の恩人なんですよ。
Yuri. She helped me when I was injured. I owe her my life. So odd cutting to the no voice acting. Whatever. You deserve to get an injury or two once in a while, you klutz.
あうわ
Sorry you had to help this dork. Yuri ignored Shimon's groaning in pain on the ground and said that to Riri. Riri stared at her with dissatisfaction.
いえ、それよりもあなた。
It was nothing. More importantly, you're... Oh, I'm Yuri. Been her guardian since she was a kid.
子守って言うな。
You are not.
いえ、自己紹介もありがたいのですが、その。
Oh no, I appreciate that you introduced yourself to me, but Hmm?
その姿は何か羽織っていらっしゃるのですか？
You look rather, dark. You're not supposed to tell people that. That's not politically correct. No, I'm kidding. Oh, come to think of it, you look like Shimon. Never met a shadow like me before?
影ですか？
A shadow? You got one too, right? Yuri's question made me look. There certainly was a shadow, much like Yuri, underneath me. Hey, do you have some other plans or something?
Eh?
Huh? I'd like to thank you for helping her. I'd be interested in coming to our village.
おお、明暗。そうしましょうよ、リリさん。
I must have noticing another character that's missing from this little play of ours, but whatever. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that, Riri-san.
いえ、でも私は。
No, What, got some other plans? I do. In that village.
リリさん。
Shimon looked at Riri inquisitively.
やることはあるような気がするんです。だけど。
I feel like there's something I have to do, but...
だけど。
But?
私のようなものがお邪魔してもご迷惑をおかけするだけですので。
I would only be a burden if I came, Riri said with reservation. Then she looked out at the grasslands. Next, she was about to walk off. It wasn't a particularly clever option, but there was no other way to find the memories locked in her mind. Or I presumed that was her idea. Riri had lost her memories. That being the case, where was she trying to go? Well, it was probably meaningless. She was only making them pursue her because she had no objective. If one had to be convinced, it was to return to Mitakami and nothing more. Hold up. Everything was going exactly as planned. I don't know what's up, but is something bothering you?
そんなことは。
I wouldn't say so. You've got somewhere to go? Seemed like you were just sitting around here. Either way, she would end up being taken to the Shadow Village. And all the more reason to make you come with.
どうして？
Why? Now to help those in need, am I right, Shimon?
そういうこと。リリーさん、私の村に遊びに来ませんか？
Yep, that's right. Wanna come hang out at my village, Didi-san?
でも、
But
何か力になれるかもしれませんよ。
maybe we can help you. Yep, and her house is pretty huge. Wouldn't be a problem if you stayed there for a while.
そんな悪いです。
Oh my, thank you for offering.
ほんとね、めちゃめちゃ広いんすよ。
It
そうし
serious.
てくれると私も嬉しいっす。
It seriously is giant. I'd love it if you stayed too.
お二人ともありがとうございます。
You heard her. Arigato gozaimasu. Something wasn't right. The way things were going, it looked like as though I would be going to Shimon's house alone. There weren't enough actors. The day I'd go to the Shadow Village, Kiki and Meto Tanabe are supposed to be there too.
お世話になります。
Thank you for having me. Without warning, she started walking off as the scenario dictated.
ま、
Wait. I tried to yell my real thoughts, but I was cut off by the scene transition. I should probably be thankful I was. It's better to not express your real will in the charade when it doesn't count. Rather than returning to the chaos in the latter half of the notebook's earliest entry, it would be wise to go with the flow and look for the most ideal opportunities. And then there's this notebook itself. That I have this may be deeply connected to the fact that Meto Tanabe hasn't appeared. It'd probably be best to wait for an opportunity. For now, all I can do is follow the scenario. Morning had arrived. I was wrapped up in a futon in an unfamiliar room. Well, it wasn't exactly totally unfamiliar. I had a pretty good idea of where I was. The sense of fatigue I felt was almost comical in a way as I checked the notebook I had with me. Yeah, I keep yawning. I used the record of the first loop to confirm the outline of the plot. Day 3, Shimon and Riri got Shimon and Riri's help with looking for the voice, had them go to the chief's house for me. Info Kutomi may have a book about the voice. I was working on building a secret base with So and Hibiki. This is for the purpose of getting used to shadows. The notebook was written from Meto Tanabe's perspective, but I was able to figure out that the next course of action would be to visit the village chief's house with Shimon. There was no guarantee things would play out that way though. But if it did... Hey, pretty girl. Good morning. I walked to the house. It seemed empty until I realized that there was a noise coming from the kitchen. Hi, we'll play after I finish recording. No. We'll play after I finish recording. I peeked in and sure enough, Shimon was just turning on the stove. You're cooking. Allow me to help. The character Riri butted in. Don't worry about it. Shimon refused, though. I'd like to help you, though. Okay, let's make breakfast together.
はい。
Okay. I shifted to the side of Shimon and began to mince the radish left on the chopping board.
ああ、そっちは最後にやろうと。
Ah, you can save that for last.
大根は汁物ですから早めに調理してあげないとダメなんです。
Well, the radish will be used in the soup, so it's better to prepare it first.
かといってかまどの温度調節を見ることも大切ですから。
Yep.
優先順位をつけるのは難しいところですが。
They're making it sort of sound like they have a... I don't know if this era of Japan had temperature controlling stoves. At the same time, though, it's important to adjust the stove's temperature accordingly. I guess it's difficult to really say which should come first.
まあお手伝いしてよかったです。
Well, I guess I was right to help. Shimon wasn't exactly the brightest person out there, so I decided to not really pursue it. No problem. She flashed me a smile in return, seemingly relieved. I was honestly a little shocked to see the character Didi readily helping with cooking. It wasn't like I was a bad cook, but I certainly couldn't handle a knife as skillfully as the character Didi could. I suppose it could be said that, given we were one and the same, that I should be just as capable of doing it as her. It was kind of irritating in any case.
ところでシモンさん。
By the way, Shimon-san, there wasn't much actual dialogue prepared for us as we cooked, which was actually in my favor. It allowed me to speak of my own will. There was something in particular I was rather curious about.
ここにはずっとお一人で？
Have you always lived in this house by yourself? Right. Meto Tanabe and Kiki. I wanted to know about them. Myth that present seemed to be revolving around me.
今まで村の人々以外の方を止めたことは？
Have you ever let anyone else who wasn't a villager stay at your house before?
リリさんみたいな。
You mean like you?
ええ。
Hi.
それはないっすね。てか、こんなことめったにあるもんじゃないじゃないっすか。
No, I haven't. This sort of thing doesn't really happen all that often. No, I haven't. This sort of thing doesn't really happen all that often after all.
それはそうですが。
Yes, I agree, but I suppose they didn't exist then.
でも、
Well, she continued, though.
ずっと前にそんなこともあったような気が。
I recall I did something similar in the past.
ずっと前というと？
In the past, meaning...
子供の頃かな。誰か知らない人と過ごしたような記憶がかすかにあって。
Back when I was a kid, I remember living with some person I didn't know really well.
喉に詰まる感じ。
Her name's right at the tip of my tongue, but... Yo, anyone home? Yuri suddenly appeared after we finished eating breakfast.
ユリ、どうしたの？
What's up, Yuri? Look. She held out a bunch of fresh veggies.
おー、どうしたのこれ？
Oh, what about these? Tomi-san gave them to me. Go give her your thanks later.
しとくしとく。
Sure. Shimon gazed at the vegetables in the basket with a gleeful glint in her eyes. My cat is trying to do everything in her power to distract me. Yo, Didi-san.
おはようございます。
You heard her. Ohayou gozaimasu. Yes, I notice you here, cat. Hi. So, what do you think about Shimon's place? Not bad, right? Riri soon became the point of Yuri's interest.
ええ。とても広くて少し古臭いけど 掃除はされていて。
Of course not. It's so spacious. It's a little old in style, but it's tidy, and I waited for the character Didi to continue.
だけど、少し寂しいかな。
Well, I suppose it's a little lonely. Lonely?
こんな広い家に私とシモンさんの二人きりだなんて、なんだか物足りなく感じて。
It feels a bit of a waste having this big house with only Shimon and me living in it.
シモンさんには失礼な話ですけど。
Not trying to be rude to Shimon-san, but... yeah, I hear you. Wouldn't hurt if some other people were around. Yuri picked at a piece of wood on the veranda as she muttered that. She seemed to be thinking about something, but she soon stood up. Anyway, I'm out of here. The chief's waiting for me. She ran off towards the trail behind the veranda after that.
ことみさん
We were in front of a particular house not long after. The house must have belonged to Kotomi based on what Shimon said. It wasn't hard to guess why we were here based on what happened earlier in the plot as well. I was wary though, because this was completely different from what we experienced in the first loop. Oh, hello, Shimon-san.
どうも野菜をいただいたお礼に来ましたっす
Hiya, I wanted to say thank you for the veggies. Don't worry about it. Didn't have to go out of your way to thank me.
いやいや
It's the least I can do. By the way, may I ask who this is? Kotomi looked over at
はじ
me.
めまして。
Nice to meet you. And then smiled at me after I greeted her. Hello, what's your
リ
name?
リと申します。
Didi. I'll just cut out this part of the story. We weren't talking about anything noteworthy in particular. Nothing that was worth explaining, at least. Thanking Kotomi for the vegetables, how Kotomi was doing lately, etc. Idle chit-chat befitting of such a third-rate story.
ええ、ぜひご一緒に。
Yes, of course we should. Let me get my thoughts in order. Myth began the day before. If what's written in the notebook is correct, this should be the third loop. A number of things are concerning about Myth this time around, though. Particularly the lack of Meto Tanabe and Kiki. Did the two of them manage to return to their worlds during the second loop? That seemed unlikely, because to do that, they would have had to fulfill Ragnarok. Bringing about Ragnarok is the most direct way to escape from Myth, according to Valkyrie. Likewise, the fulfillment of Ragnarok is also the objective behind Myth. Are you having fun watching me from your box? Or one of your mini boxes, technically. Oh well. Meaning that Myth still hasn't fulfilled its purpose. The fact that I am here in this world is proof enough of that. So that eliminates that possibility. Which means they succeeded in escaping some other way. That was the most likely explanation. As proof of that, Meto Tanabe's actions during the second loop's 20 days seemed to defy Odin's. Returning from the place known as Tokyo to reality. Perhaps Kiki and Meto succeeded in escaping by turning their backs on Odin. There's one thing that doesn't sit right with me though, and that's Kiki, not Meto. Did she escape under the same circumstances that Meto did? And leave me behind?
私もそう思います。
I think so too. This is getting nowhere. Might as well stop for now. At the very least, they didn't escape by bringing about Ragnarok, and that was enough to determine what I had to do from here on out. I had to wait for the right opportunity to destroy the script. There had to be a way out of here that didn't involve the fulfillment of Ragnarok. Meto and Kiki proved it, and so long as that was the case, I had no real reason or obligation to stay here. Hi.
今の話ちゃんと聞いてました？
Were you listening?
はい。肉体と影のある子供でしたっけ？
Yes. You said there was a child with a shadow along with the body. My own words made my thoughts freeze. That's right. I happened to see her when I was shopping at the market.
なんかあったです？
Is something wrong? Her mother didn't seem to be with her. Frankly, I'm a little bit worried. Kiki. Could she have not actually returned to Aguni?
それはどういう感じの子供でした？
Could you describe this child? It seemed that my character's interests had aligned with my own. That was certainly pleasing. Hopefully the plot would progress with us going to meet her. I only got a sight of her for a moment. Do believe that she was a girl, given her short stature, long hair.
そうですか。
Is that so? It also seemed like the character Didi was interested in meeting this girl.
シモンさん、その場所まで行ってみませんか？
Shimon-san, can we go meet her?
どうして？
Pue? Why?
気になるんです。女の子、影と肉体。
I'm curious. A girl with both a body and a shadow. But it was the truth that my character didn't know why. I could guarantee as much, considering we shared the same body.
いいっすよ。どうせ暇ですし。
Sure, why not? We've got time to kill anyway. Shimon immediately agreed. I saw her around the entrance to the market. She seemed to be heading towards the outskirts of the village. Shimon and I left Katomi's place after that. We walked for a bit before eventually reaching a dilapidated house.
すっげえ家っすね。本
Whoa.
当に誰か住んでるのかな？
Whoa, does someone really live here? Could someone actually live in a place like this? It's definitely possible if Kiki had no other place to call her own. I guess I'll have to wait and see what happens.
あれ？
Shimon noticed something and pointed ahead. She was pointing at... not Kiki, but a girl with black hair.
あなた、お名前は？
What's your name? Uni. Uni. I recognize that name.
光のものを待ってて、お母さんがそう言ったの？
Your mother told you to wait for the being of light? Yeah.
困りましたね。
Oh dear.
シモンさん、この子を家に。
We should take her back to your place. Why? Was Odin here? I thought about when to act. The script continued to follow that parody of a plot. How could I make my escape and return to reality? I could act at any time, but there were several things concerning the plot that still bothered me. The third morning since Myth began again, meaning this must have been the third day. The plot advanced without Kiki and Meto. Just what was the end waiting for me in this situation? Of course, I was curious. But I couldn't just drag my feet either. I only had 20 days to act. 17 days were left. I had to find a means of escaping within that time frame. Mountains. Uni said that her mother was on the other side of those mountains. The most likely development would be myself and Shimon meeting with that mother of hers.
大変です。
Bad news!
どうかしましたか？
What happened?
リリさん、
Riri-san, come with me.
ユニちゃんはそこにいてくださいね。
Just wait there for now, Yuni-chan. We headed for the market. It was there that I saw myself? No, she was too old to be me. Who was she? What are you here for? An old man questioned the lady.
シモンはどこです？
That's better. Why do you keep sniffing at my teapot? It's been washed and everything. It was washed like yesterday. Are you just trying to do everything you can to get my attention? Oh well. Where's Shimon? Her mother? I wasn't going to let them do this.
茶番は終わりだ。
There we go. The jig is up. I made my declaration to the people in the market.
バルキリ
I turned towards Shimon.
はい。
Oh, you heard her. Hi.
吐けよ。現実に戻るための術を。
Spit it out. How do I return to the real world? Shimon wouldn't cut it out with the act, but that too would come to an end.
影なしたちは戻ったんだろ？策を聞かせてもらおうか。
Shadowless and Kiki are gone. Tell me how they did it. Silence. And after a few moments of that,
影なしってメイトさんですか？
by Shadowless, you mean Meto-san? She readily admitted to the truth.
そっか。だからメイトさんは。
Ah, so that's why he's
おい、ふざけてるのか？
at the crap. I threatened Shimon.
茶番は終わりだと。おべっかもいい加減にしろ。
I do love that it's a woman with a higher pitched voice doing a deeper voice. I like that. It gives a nice effect. I said the jig is up. There's no reason to keep up the act.
あ
Shimon seemed to be lost in thought for a moment. Then
リリさん、
she addressed me.
もう遅いんですよ。
It's already too late.
遅いだと。
Too late?
はい、もう遅いです。
It's very cute of you, Kat, but you're too big for that. I have a thing on the back of my chair she liked to lay on whenever I adopted her, but she is too big to do that now. Yes, it's too late.
もうシナリオに従うだけなんですから。
All you can do is follow along with the plot. She is trying her damnedest to lay there. She is not succeeding.
何を？
What?
その通りですよ。
That's right.
あなたが口を挟むことはもうないんです。
Can't interfere any longer.
ですよね、シモンさん。
Isn't that right, Shimon-san?
はい、私たちの人生ですから。
Yep, these are our lives. An inscrutable sense of fear. A chill raced up my spine. What did she just say?
リリ
Riri. Someone spoke to me from behind, with a rather rough
ー、
tone.
見上げてみろ。
Look up.
何？
What? Nani? I couldn't tell what was going on. Why hadn't they regained their will?
見上げるんだ。
Look up.
見上げるって一体何を？
Look up? At what? I looked up and there was...
リリさん、
What's going on?
心を解放してください。
解放？
Oh, I didn't read that. I'm sorry. I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Release your spirit. Release?
すべてを委ねてください。ミスに。
Give yourself to myth. The world corrupted. It was volatile. My sight was shaky.
目をつむればいいんだ。
Just close your eyes. All I could do was listen to her voice. Close my eyes. She insisted I do as much.
それで全てが終わるんだから。
Everything will end after that. There was no longer ground at my feet. Everything was unstable. Only her voice kept its form. And I had no choice but to follow her words. Far away, something loud was ringing in the distance. I couldn't feel this way. I couldn't let my guard down. I had to make sense of the situation. I searched for a way to return to Aguni inside of Myth. This likely continued for a very long time. But Myth has stopped functioning. I didn't hear her voice in my ears, though. It resounded directly in my head. That's wrong, Riri. Dark space. I could feel the old lady's breathing. I lent my ears to her voice. I've traveled through the subspace known as the world of shadows for an unbelievably long time. I'll likely continue to exist as some sort of half-realized phenomenon even after this. But that's exactly why I can tell you this one truth. The character Meito Tanabe showed me. Aguni from the gate during Myth. A seemingly endless sea stretched out before me. The warm sea breeze was nostalgic to me. The sand glittering under the sun was so warm. Aguni. Is this Aguni? I looked in Ryoko's eyes. Ryoko seemed to confirm as much as simply closing her eyes. I've returned, but how? You finished your job in the role of the amnesiac in the Village of Shadows. The transition to reality has begun. Transition? Ragnarok has been said many times. That's why your roles come to an end. But I didn't. It's over. Ryoko repeated her words. Then, and now it'll begin anew. She said the complete opposite of what she just said. A new story. The character Meito Tanabe showed me something during Myth. The world of Aguni from the gate, and I saw one particular truth upon seeing that world. Ryoko began to walk along the beach without saying a word. I followed behind her. Myth endlessly revolves around with the real world as its orbit. The real world? A world where someone created, a world someone created, and this someone also but another's creation. I don't get it. You will. At least one of those things, very soon. Kiki. I had an idea of where Ryoko was headed. The realization of that idea had me at a loss, though. Kiki was there, appearing just as she did after we left Mitakami. When I saw on the other side of that gate, Ryoko seemed to be reminiscing about something as she gazed at her. It was myself wearing a kimono, with Meito, Shimon, and everyone else. Yes, hi. I'll play with you after I finish recording. I promise. Promise. Huh? That was what was in a Goonie. The world began to change. It produced a far more striking, vivid image of the girl standing at the center of that scenery. You're late. My younger sister muttered those words to me. Been waiting for so long for you to arrive. Kiki. I no longer hate them. After knowing the truth, I'm actually thankful for our creator. A girl I recognized was beside her. Then... Don't over-glamorize it. Someone writes this tale, but who that person is means nothing within myth. We are one. The most important, core part of us is forever. Look at the sky. The creator of myth and our reality had a particular goal in mind. Do you remember what it was? Hope fell from the sky. What? Hope descended? Okay, weird, but whatever. The path so many had taken, the joy so many had felt, sadness, love, a number of different emotions were depicted on that infinite canvas. As I looked at that, various memories filled my mind. I had no idea who they belonged to. Upon the canvas, all varieties of drama unfolded. Like the world, it was divided up above the sky. The creator left memories showing the limits of reality to the limits of human beings, and those showing the limitlessness of dreams. Storing those memories, this world continues to give us purposeless dreams. What is your dream? My dream, to awaken from this 256 color dream. The world is, as you know, I was raised without being blessed by my parents. Then, because of their psychotic hopes, I arrived in this world. So to me, this world was little more than hell. I was forced to live in myth and suffer in the form of an undying shadow. But now I've been able to escape from my mother. I'm sure there's a new story waiting, one I want to choose for myself, but... Hibiki Shindo stared at the surface of the world, at this fictional world of light I created. Living in an empty world isn't bad at all, because I made that choice. That's what I think. That's all, folks. Yeah. Damn cat. Huh? Even works of fiction like you are still living beings. Even if they are but a vessel for another. And that's my life. I won't let anyone complain. Odin? Riri? Yuniichi? Meto Tanabe? The conflicts you hold within yourselves have produced a number of characters thus far. And built paths for those characters to follow. Meto Tanabe? He isn't the only one. The desires of the deceased to live following this plot. That's it. Kiki grasped Riri's hand. Faint warmth filled her palm, gently spreading throughout her body. Riri, we can finally go home. We'll have to start from the beginning again, but we can repeat all those coincidences on our return to Aguni. Repeat That was what we wanted, right? The scene once again changed to the sea, but upon arriving there was a large and evident change within me. My voice was more high-pitched than usual. I glanced down at my hands and realized why. Child. Let's begin. Kiki held my hand and pulled me towards the beach. There, I saw a young, injured man. I understood everything. I'd tell him, "Who are you two?" Being of light. Step through that door. Being of light. I heard someone call out to me. Those words felt so nostalgic. I opened my eyes. I looked around. I knew where I was. Up now? And I knew who that girl was as well. What happened to Myth? It's come to an end. An end? The sort of dramatic development a certain someone longs for will no longer occur. Myth will restore its normal functions of performing with the shadows. All we can do is wait for the world. What will happen to this tale? It'll begin again. When? Look. The girl pointed straight ahead, toward the sea, beyond it. There was a world, many worlds, with people I recognized. They were all smiling and laughing as though nothing that transpired had ever happened. Yuri Yamagami was enjoying herself with her original lover. I was glad that he was able to meet her again. I said as much to the man who was once me. My former friends, each lived their own lives. Even if what they were experiencing was sadness, they continued to live. Even so, Riri's time as a child, when she calls out to Kiki as she gazes out at the sea. Good luck. Endure that brutal future and reach your ideals once more. We watch over their progress as we are now. Until the day we release them from this endless cycle. Myth will continue for that sake. Reinhyar, those who lead the dead. What about Odin? I asked her thus, about Myth's one creator who tried to escape fate. Look at that. She pointed at one particular world. It was a world of ruin in which a lone old woman stood. She exited a large, imposing device. And after a step or two, she slowly gave herself to the earth. I could see her lips. She was murmuring something, and then an odd smile came to her lips. I recognized that voice. She's calling for you. Oh, she's called for me this whole time. She's the one who created this fictional world from reality. She gave me these bitter dreams. through use of myth, her own creation, stepped through that door, being of light. The old woman was trying to close her barely open eyes, like she'd come to some realization, like she wanted to leave behind no regrets. That's fine. I muttered. They were my final words of the story, directed towards the mother of myth. Now? The girl said. Shall we return? And wait for the next tale to arrive? I nodded, as I felt the end of this chaotic tale written from a ruined, empty future. We approached the intersection. I'm gonna save. Because why not? Oh, of course it's called Ragnarok. Let's, for old time's sake, stop by somewhere. Go home? I'm leaving then. I told her as much. Alright. Meet again on the stage. Right. See ya. Yeah. See ya. We headed our own ways after that. I glanced at the girl's back and saw her narrow shadow lightly swaying and wilting. My story was one filled with the dreams and realities of many. What could wait at the end of it? Would I be able to get a shadow like hers? Or would it end with me becoming a being of light? There was a book on the side of the road. Did someone leave it behind by accident? I picked it up and flipped to the pages. It looked to be a diary of some sort. The book started on the day the owner of the diary visited another world, claimed he was searching for a voice. I glanced at the last page. It said that the diary's owner looked up at the sky. Then he looked at reality off in the distance and thought the following. Please, let the story be told to whoever's next. And that is Myth. It is one of my absolute favorite visual novels. I love Myth to bits. It is, while I can't say it is a perfect story or anything like that, or even just, I think, widely loved if by anybody that would read it, it's not that type of story. It is, to me, this type of story that is something that I like, my type of story. I love these kinds of metaphysical sort of stories. And that's a constant thing. I can't read them like one after another. But going in with little knowledge, but still some, is really nice. Or no knowledge is also nice too. But I love these sort of stories. And I loved this story quite a lot. It is a visual novel that is going to stick with me, I think, for a very long time. Like there are some visual novels that I've read and finished, some that I've read and haven't finished that I can remember that I read them. I can probably remember a couple of details about the plot, but they're not going to stick with me. This is... I'm not going to remember everything. My memory is shit. But I will remember more about this than those, and it's something that I can think back to and, think of fondly, have nice memories of, and think, that was nice, wasn't it? I like this visual novel. And I do reread visual novels. I read books as well. I reread stuff. And this is one of the ones that I could definitely see myself rereading in the future. I mean, this is the second time I've read this visual novel this year, as a matter of fact. I read it at the beginning of the year for the first time. And my immediate reaction after I finished it was, I want to record this. I need to. And when I was kind of deciding what I wanted to play, like a couple of different times this year after I finished this, I was thinking, well, I could play Myth. I really kind of want to play Myth or reread Myth or whatever. And here I am. And I read Myth. And I did. And I'm very happy about that. I love this visual novel. But yeah, next
サー
is,
クル店舗
let's see, I think next week from Upload is the first week of October. I believe, I think it's the first full week of October anyway. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do something for Halloween immediately, because I want to do one Halloween project. It's probably going to be something short, not take the entire month, but I want to do it anyway. But yeah, I'm not sure what. I have a few ideas is the problem, and I'm flip-flopping between them. I think the one that I'm most committed to doing is Resident Evil 2, but I'm not going to swear to that. I love Resident Evil, the classic Resident Evil games anyway. Well, and I guess I love up to 5. I liked 5. 5 was fun. 5 was a dumb fun game for me. 6 was a thing. I don't really like first-person shooters, so 7 was a good game, but not a type of game that I really enjoyed, and I have not played Village, because I don't care. That's not true. I haven't played Village because I haven't had the time to sit down and play games. I've watched it, but I've not played it. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 is a very real possibility. There were a couple of visual novels that I'm thinking of that I haven't read, and I was thinking, yeah, I could do the blind reading of that for October, for whatever. And I'm kind of resistant to the idea of doing a blind series, but I'm at the same time I've lightened my opinion on that quite a lot after I've gotten more comfortable doing this. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see about that. The problem that I'm having is most of the visual novels that I actively want to read for like a Halloween thing are long, and I don't want to read like a 40 or 50 hour VN. Like for a Halloween thing. I'll read something that goes like through the end of the year, maybe. I don't mind doing something like that, but I don't want to do something like 50 hours. 40 or 50 hours. My thing is I want to do something like 15 to 20. And I have a couple that I have written down somewhere, probably on my phone, that I'm thinking about doing. But I don't know. My original plan did fall through because I tried replaying the game recently, and it was fucking boring. I'm not going to say what it was because it has a lot of fans, and I don't want to anger anybody. But I tried replaying. I played it a long time ago. Tried replaying it recently. Fuck me, it was boring. So I'm not recording that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I also want to do something a bit different. I kind of want to play Portal. So I'm probably going to record Portal sometime this year. That was actually going to be the series after this. But this took like an extra week longer than I thought it was. I was thinking that this was going to be finished and the final week this was to be uploaded was the week that I'm recording this, not next week. And I was wrong. So there's that. But yeah, I want to do something for Halloween. Something horror, but it's probably not going to be a visual novel, but it might be. And that's about the extent that I can promise with that. It's probably not going to be a visual novel, but it might be. I'm leaning towards Resident Evil 2. I have a couple of horror games that I've not played downloaded. I have Harvester downloaded. I have installed rather. I have Harvester installed. I have 7th Guest installed, which are 2 90s FMV games. And man, they're 90s FMV goodness. Not beating them. I played a little bit of both. I don't know if I will play them or not, but there's a possibility. Phantasmagoria, I think, is on sale on Steam currently, so I may buy that and play it. Probably not. I don't want to spend $6 on a dumb meme game. Not meme game, but a dumb... it's not worth $6, and it's definitely not worth 10 or 12. It's not a bad game, but it's not worth that much to me. I also have Alien Isolation, but I don't think I want to record that. I might. I shouldn't have said that. I probably won't. I think Condemned Criminal Origins I have, as well as an older Clive Barker game. Not Jericho. Not. I think it's Undying. Maybe I have that installed as well. Amnesia games. I think I have the first Amnesia somewhere. I think I own it. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. I have a lot of. I don't know a lot. I have a fair few of ideas for Halloween, but I don't know which one I want to go with. And I guess the final thing before we go is this does have the separate thing of a Goonie, whatever the fuck it's called, scenario thing. It's like an hour or too long. I'm not really interested in reading it. I read a very small amount of it, and it wasn't really, I didn't care. And from what I've heard, the very, very little that I've heard about it is it's kind of okay. And I don't want to read something that's kind of okay after really loving the main story of this, and it wasn't very interesting to me. Some people might like it. It might be some people's thing, but it's not mine, and I don't want to read it. I don't. I have a habit. If I don't like something, I'm not going to finish reading. I'm not going to finish the game. I'm not going to finish whatever if I'm not enjoying it. And I didn't enjoy what little bit I've read of that. So, that's very, very, very unlikely to happen. Not impossible. I'm not going to say anything's impossible, but that is an unlikely one. So I think this is the end of this series. I had so much fun, and I hope you did as well. And I hope you will join me next time when my next series, whatever it may be, with something of your own, a drink of your own. Alcohol or not, doesn't matter. A drink that you like. And, well, goodbye and good night.